to the Witches and Roses. I'm Natin Yani, the Art Witch, and today we're doing a pick-a-card tarot reading that is focusing on your emotional body. Now, this is something that I love doing for myself, simply because I feel like it's a matter of spiritual hygiene to be constantly checking in with our emotions and becoming more conscious of what it is that we are currently processing. Now, we're going to have 3 piles, with each pile having 9 positions. So it's quite an extensive look at what's going on emotionally, starting from the predominant emotion that you're currently dealing with, and then we're going to the root of the matter, looking at the internal, external energies that can provide you some help, and obviously lots of other pieces of spiritual advice. So I am very excited about this reading. Hopefully you are too. So it's time to take a deep breath and choose your pile. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. As I've already mentioned, we are having a lot of positions today to fully scan your emotional body. And the first position here is basically the main emotion that you are struggling with at this time. So we're going to go ahead and have a look at what's going on. Okay, so what I can see straight off the bat is that it seems like you are trying to achieve quite a lot. And it's like you are expecting yourself to be on a certain level, but you are still not quite there. So there is a sense of dissatisfaction with yourself. And so, yeah, I would call this emotion a dissatisfaction. So it's like you want to grow into something else, but it takes time to obviously rewire your brain and your body and to embody it fully. So you've got the skeleton here, but there is still patience needed for the development of muscle and other elements of the body. Metaphorically speaking, obviously, like this version of you is like it's still mainly in your head. Okay, this is something that you're trying to manifest, but obviously there is still a considerable amount of action needed to get to where you are, to get to where you want to be. And but at least this is how you are feeling. We will get deeper as the reading is going to, as the reading goes. But yeah, I feel like you are too hard on yourself, okay? And also, a side note, some of you might be trying to quit smoking. So, yeah, and some of you are focusing on small failures, and therefore you feel like a failure in general. But, like, again, you are dissatisfied with your progress. But if you have little setbacks here and there, it doesn't mean that you're not making progress, okay? Even like the example with smoking, if you still have a cigarette this week, but normally you smoke every day, for instance, it's also something to celebrate, okay? It is a solid progress. So I have a sense of like you are very impatient with yourself and you're not giving yourself enough credit for how far you've already come on your journey. And yeah, this is it feels like a burden, this energy, okay? But let's get deeper into this emotion and get to the root of this emotion. Maybe we will have more clarity on why exactly this is taking place at this time. Well, yeah, so you might be learning something new at the moment. Okay, some of you might be even learning to play a new instrument, just for a small number of you. But anyway, it feels like there is a lot at stake at this time, and it is as if you are reconstructing your sense of identity in the world. Some of you are totally changing your career, so you find yourself in the position of the Page of Pentacles, and maybe if you had a successful career before, it's obviously hard to become a novice in something, okay? But yeah, so you are feeling like you are not experienced enough, and for some of you, you are only starting your studies, so it's also like a rite of passage in a way for you. So it is very, very transformative, and yeah, so nothing is going to be as it was before, obviously, and I think you're welcoming this change and you are ready for it. It is something voluntary, but at the same time, yes, the situation is not something that is a quick fix, and it's not an instant gratification situation, and you are just focusing too much on the final result and outcome, and maybe you are sort of consciously manifesting this new foundation in life for yourself, but it's gonna take some time, and it's gonna come anyway, if you stay committed to this path. But you can't wait until the finish line to start feeling satisfied. You are exactly where you need to be today, and everything is unfolding accordingly to its cycles. And so accepting those cycles with Death card here, it's also something that it's a lesson that we are all learning here as humans, really, and we are all equally struggling with it. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. But what we can do is at least develop empathy towards ourselves and stop burdening ourselves with extreme expectations, because there is a lot of kind of superhuman, transhumans of robotic, tireless propaganda going on in the society right now. But humans are not machines, okay? And this is great that we are not, and we are often ashamed of our human nature. We are ashamed to be slow. We are ashamed to be tired. But you should not be trying to impress others, or even yourself for that matter, with your speed, if this is having a toll on how you feel in general. If we start vibrating a constant sense of dissatisfaction with ourselves, it's not going to be productive. It's going to be more difficult for our brain to actually move forward, because it's going to be the brain is going to be discouraged. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. So let's have a look at what energies or qualities within yourself can you tap into for emotional support. I'm going to have a look at your internal energies. Advice that comes from within. Okay. Yeah, well, this totally makes sense. So, from what I see, I think you would benefit from tapping into the energy of appreciation, okay? So, you can always reignite the spark by focusing on your uniqueness here, and on focusing on your uniqueness here and now, okay? And by tapping into your creativity, obviously, as well, but also by tapping into the energy that is providing this compassionate hug, and is able to integrate all parts of you. Because I feel like there is a facet of you, there is an aspect of you that is rejected inside of you, and you feel like, okay, I feel lost and abandoned. I need to prove myself, to be noticed, to be even like deserving of love. So your emotional support starts with the unity of your weaknesses and your strengths. So you have to find this compassionate energy inside of you that will not be judging you for who you are today in this very moment. And of course also tapping into your internal optimism, because it is there. You are someone who can cultivate this energy if you decide so. Okay. And just developing this positive and open mindset when approaching challenges. This is something that you can find inside of you. But really paying attention to this rejected internal aspect that needs attention and care, and because of that you could be expecting too much from yourself, and just being too hard on yourself because you are sort of overcompensating. I hope that it makes sense. Now let's have a look at the external support. What could be beneficial at this time? Well, I'm definitely seeing people who have the same passions and interests and that are on the same path, and maybe some who have already been through the same experiences. It could be even people that you do not know personally, maybe someone from the same industry, but they have already accomplished what you want to accomplish. But just like researching into their biography and into their path and understanding that it's been a journey. It's not a matter of 1 or 2 days, okay? And just in general, finding people who are very motivated, but they are on the same or like similar path. And for some of you, depending on where you are on your journey, it's even a great idea to find some mentors. And but anyway, these are people that inspire you or that are inspired by the same things. They can help you out with the way you feel right now about your situation and about not feeling enough, or feeling like everything is moving too slowly, and you are lacking in experience. Like, it's okay to lack in experience when you're beginning something new. Or even if it's not a new thing, maybe it's a new phase of this thing. So it's, again, time of transformation and expansion. So it's impossible to constantly just, go and have instant results, especially if you have big goals as a final destination. Okay, now let's have a look at what is a healthy and constructive way to express your emotions when it comes to this current emotional state. And it's an interesting combination. It's a very spiritual combination. So, at this time you are called to really connect to your higher self, to your crown chakra, and trust that the universe is guiding you. Meanwhile, however, you could simply, do a lot of internal work like meditation, or with the Ace of Swords, like a lot of journaling and writing, and some NLP practices or affirmations, like really trying to work with your brain and diving deep into your programming, trying to understand what internal beliefs are burdening your path, okay? But also continuing visualization and knowing that, yes, your vision is coming to reality, but after you've done the visualization, just letting it go, giving it to the universe, practicing this sense of trust and faith. But at the same time, with the star here, you are also encouraged to express your emotions through creative outlets, like any sort of arts, writing, music, any creative endeavor, really. So it's going to be a very powerful channel to process your feelings. And like for some of you might even provide a cathartic release, depending on how heavy this is really present in your body. But anyway, with the Ace of Swords here, I see the need for honesty. And first of all, for honesty with yourself, okay? So, delving really into the root of your emotions at this time and understanding the underlying factors. What is it that you're trying to overcompensate with your fast and quick results? Why are you really so dissatisfied with yourself? Was it some phrase that somebody told you when you were a child? Like all those things. And all these cards are really like an advice for healing. So let's get a little bit deeper and see what kind of guidance can we get on top of that for your emotional healing. Okay, so with the Fool here, I'm just feeling like, take it easy. Don't be so serious with yourself, and also like don't listen to the destructive or off-putting advices. And also, if you have been through a lot, okay, and you cannot wait to delete the memory of the past version of yourself, try finding wisdom in the fact that everything's changeable, and yes, you may have done certain mistakes, but you have already moved on from there, and this process is already in motion, okay? So there's no need to obsess over it. Let go of unnecessary control and just keep moving, keep learning, keep exploring. And instead of feeling like an idiot, look at it like at a crazy journey, and as something that is bringing you closer to the whole of humanity. And you are learning compassion and even how to be humble in a way, And again, for those of you that are struggling with certain programming from your past, then this is a confirmation again to release all that and become a blank slate with the Fool here. Now this card is interesting. It's a card of a positive affirmation. So what kind of positive affirmation or mantra can help you shift your emotional state? But we will try to interpret it. So we have a 9 of coins, and this card is associated with independence, confidence, abundance. So wealth, obviously, so everything that you're trying to achieve, I guess. So the affirmation would be, I am abundant and self-sufficient, and my hard work and dedication have created a prosperous and fulfilling life. I celebrate the beauty and success that surrounds me. I am a manifestation of wealth, both inwardly and outwardly. Okay? So this is very important to remind ourselves that abundance comes from within. Value comes from within, not from the external validation. Once we've let go of this idea that we need to be externally validated, everything becomes 10 times easier. And our brain sheds layers of anxieties and fears, and by doing so we actually become open to new energies of inspiration, new creative ideas come, we get into the flow of life much easier, and everything starts manifesting much easier. Okay, so this card is also kind of a coping mechanism that could be useful in this situation. Okay. So it's quite simple, allow yourself to complain to your friends. Because, sometimes we just, also try to be too strong, too collected. Allow yourself to complain. But at the same time, while you're doing it, try to be really mindful of your communication and try to understand, yes, your emotions at this very moment. What is the most difficult thing to share, to admit to yourself and to others? Practice honesty with yourself and with others. With yourself through meditation, through journaling. Again, there is a double message of trying NLP and journaling, reprogramming yourself and your thoughts. But first and foremost, practicing honesty. And then again, when you first get the courage to be honest with yourself, then the second step is to share this honesty with others. I know it's easier said than done, but it appears like that would be really beneficial, because maybe there is a certain trauma around really perception, and if you share those fears with others, it will be very soothing for you as well to feel this compassion coming from other people, and understanding that they are not judging you at all. They're just like you, and they love you anyway. So overcoming this fear of rejection in a way again. And also we have two other cards. The first card is your... I don't do predictions really, okay? I don't believe that future exists, because every action, every day is changing the whole picture completely. So it all depends on us. And we are co-creating with the universe, and even though there are certain energies that are inevitable according to astrology, it's always up to us how to act within the framework of those energies, okay? However, so take it with a grain of salt, but based on what we're seeing today, I drew two cards. So the first option is, how are you going to feel emotionally if you do nothing, if you just, continue as you've never seen this reading? And what's going to happen if you decide to use some of those techniques of meditation and journaling, and really if you dive into the self-discovery of this issue and if you try to shift it a little bit. Okay, so if you do nothing, we have the moon and the star, if you can see it from there. So what this is telling me is that if you keep ignoring this issue, it might just continue building up, and the emotional instability will continue building up. But again, it doesn't matter how many cycles it will take for you to surrender to this vulnerability and honesty with yourself. You will still have to be, you will still be forced to do it, just sooner or later. The other thing is that maybe it will be more difficult to do. The longer you wait, the more things will pile up. And yeah, the moon is it's a card of emotional turbulence and crisis, really. So yeah. And then if you decide to meditate upon this issue, we have the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles. So the 9 of Swords, as you might know, it's the card of anxiety. So it's in this position, it might mean that a lot of issues might pop up, and it's time to really overcome those anxieties. So you will have to be courageous to really confront all of them so that you can become this completely independent and confident person within yourself. But again, if this is too overwhelming, obviously with this card here, I would recommend consulting, seeking professional help, therapist, any sort of psychologist, for some of you hypnotherapist, whatever methods you prefer, more classical or more modern day. But this makes sense. When we start going deeper into our issues, obviously a lot of things go to the surface. So what we have to do, we have to be strong, and we have to find the strength to face it all. Because once we've done it, we can release it. We can release it, and we obtain control over ourselves, and we can create a much more comfortable, much more luscious life overall, because we know how to manage our stress levels, how to manage everything in our life, really. So avoiding those anxieties does not mean that they are not there. Those anxieties, they are already inside of you, and that's why you are overcompensating through, trying to achieve those things as soon as possible. But it feels like you're not noticing anything else in life. You're just focused on this achievement. But maybe you can start living right now if you get to the root of the matter. Yeah. Okay, this is it for today, Pal 1. Again, be gentle with yourself. Give yourself credit for all the little achievements you already have in your life. Even if it's a little thing, okay? Focus on that. Really focus on that. And if you need external help, always reach out to communities, to your friends. For some of you, even if a therapist is needed, do not hesitate to do that. But also, your first responsibility is obviously to give the love from within. Find this love from within. And to not avoid those internal negative thoughts, try to really detect them. That's the message. Because by detecting them, we are then capable of getting rid of them. Anyway, sending you all my love and all my support, and I do believe in you. And if you want a personal reading with me, you can contact me via email. Everything is down below. And yeah, have a wonderful week. Bye-bye. Hi Pal 2, welcome to your reading. Today, as I've already mentioned in the intro, we are doing quite an extensive view of your emotional body. And the first card is indicating the predominant emotion that you are experiencing at the moment. So this is also your signification card. So if it's not resonating with you at this point, then it's simply not your pile or not your reading at all. Unless you are someone who is finding it hard to really understand what you are feeling, then maybe it's a good idea to continue watching for a little bit to check in with your gut. But again, take only what resonates, and if this is completely not something that is you are trying to put into words, then don't try to make it fit, okay? So let's start. The predominant emotion that you are currently feeling, like we had it in reverse, the Six of Swords. Okay, so it feels like, I'm going to read it in reverse. I usually don't do reversals, but this time it totally makes sense. So it feels like you cannot carry on, you cannot move forward. You are stuck in a way, and probably with a person. You keep reminiscing. There is often nostalgia happening at this time, and it obviously makes sense with a Mercury retrograde, even though this is a timeless reading. But yeah, so you are feeling like nothing's moving forward, okay? And even though you might be feeling sweet memories of nostalgia connected to a certain person, you still understand the need that of taking a new step in your life. So yeah, it's like you are trying to manifest a new phase, but you feel like the universe is simply not allowing you to move forward, like the universe is against you. And obviously it is an illusion, because any setbacks, any delays, it's always a blessing in disguise. And if you do have all those flashbacks, like, bombarding you at this time, it is for a reason. You are invited to revisit certain memories and maybe find a different meaning in them. And it does not mean that you have to dwell on them forever, but at this very moment, it's just it's a good idea to perhaps expand your understanding of the situation, of the situations from your past. It doesn't mean that you will stop evolving if you are currently in this introspection mode, But let's get to the root of this emotion. Yeah, the root of this emotion is that there are two opposing sides inside of you that you cannot reconcile, okay? There is a lot of doubt going on. So perhaps it is actually connected to a certain person. But this could also be a decision in regards to your career, okay? It's something that you used to do in your past and then you gave up on it, for instance, and you are trying to figure out how to get to a new level with your finances, or how to get to a new level with your relationship, saving the sweetness from the past, but at the same time, inviting new experiences in that will propel you into a spiritual growth. So, yeah, during this time, don't be hard on yourself in terms of how quickly you can figure everything out. Try to really feel it. With the Six of Cups, it's all about feelings. So try to really feel what exactly is it that was so pleasant in the past. If it's your ex, then what was it exactly that was so attractive in this person? Because you can always carry it with you, if you do not continue the relationship with this person, you can still focus on the pleasure that you experienced and try to find this very element with somebody else, okay? Just making notes of everything that worked for you in the past, taking it with you, but also paying attention to what was missing and being unapologetic about it. Yeah. Also, I'm feeling like someone's lacking a bit of confidence here, and you are encouraged to assess everything you have in your subconscious mind when it comes to the perception of the self, okay? Again, be it career, be it personal relationships, for you to get to this new level with the Chariot, to become the leader of your life, you have to see your value. You have to stop doubting yourself. So at this time, you are really analyzing your past experiences and you're trying to understand what was the key point that made you feel a certain way, that made you feel vulnerable, that made you feel unwanted, that made you feel rejected. And once you're done with it, you will be able to continue your journey quite rapidly. Now let's have a look at the energies that can really help you overcome this emotion. And these are internal energies. These are energies inside of you. So what are you advised to tap into? Okay, yeah, so you're advised to not see yourself as a victim. You need to get out of the victimhood, okay? And yeah, like even celebrate your failures, I'm hearing. Once you've celebrated your failures, or like in the stand-up comedy, people laugh at it, and yeah, humor will set you free as well. And maybe some of you are actually into humor industry, if you can call it this way, into comedy. So yeah, if something went wrong, if someone didn't appreciate you enough, like, it's on them. Do not carry it with you. And I know it sounds like very naive, and if somebody tells you like, oh, stop it, just, if you're stressed and somebody says, oh, relax, it's not a helpful piece of advice. I understand, but what I'm trying to convey here is that you have enough resources inside of you to be able to find a new perspective, again, a new perspective from those failures from the past, and be able to alchemize them into your victories. Okay, it does not mean that we have to be in denial if something negative happened. Not at all. I am always advocating for feelings, for being able to sit with your emotions and feel them to the fullest. But then at a certain point, we have to have the courage to tap even deeper into ourselves. And I always feel like love and peace and joy are always deeper than pain. I am sure you will be able to tap into this energy of a hero and just find a new significance of everything that has happened. And now let's have a look at the external energies. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. So there is definitely someone in your environment, someone who is really emotionally stable and is willing to help. And probably you are not allowing this person fully in, but they are willing to help, okay? So I don't know if you are like isolating yourself at the moment or not, but you are really advised to let other people help you at this time. Now, for some of you, it might be a psychologist, okay, a therapist. So if you've been thinking, okay, should I make an appointment with this person, or shall I just try to deal with all of it myself? No, absolutely not. Don't be on your own. Make this appointment. Or if it's just a friend who wants to hang out with you, go for it, because it's going to be a massive moment of help for you. It will stabilize your emotional landscape in general, and you will start seeing even new ways of navigating through life. Okay, sometimes all it takes is a deep conversation with a friend, really. So if you have some kind of like a wise friend in mind, we all have one, and yeah, just open up. Maybe you haven't been in touch with this person for quite some time and you think like, oh my God, we've lost this connection. No, it doesn't matter. With those people, usually, like, it in your gut that it doesn't matter how much time passes, you can always reignite, rekindle this connection, and it's like you've always been in touch, but we are always connected on the energetic level. Well, at least that's what I feel in my life. So don't be alone. This is your external advice. There are people, there are resourceful people, there are kind people that are willing to help you, but you have to reach out. You have to allow yourself this help. Okay, now this line of cards, it's all focused on messages of healing in one way or another. So the first card is, how can you express this emotion in a constructive and ecological way? Interesting. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that you are probably overcoming certain generational traumas, certain generational karma, and that's why it's this energy. It's not easy, really, but if you take a creative look at it, and again, if you keep this optimistic mindset that, like you are on a creative quest, then it will be much easier to navigate all of it. So, but an interesting message here is that, you could ask your family about certain events from the past. Like, it doesn't mean judging your family for their mistakes or whatever. No, not at all. Just simply being curious in terms of how your family tree has evolved, and this will give you it will give you more clarity, really. And in general, with the 10 of coins, it's interesting, but expressing yourself within the family circle, it will be helpful at this time. Maybe some of you are afraid that you will be rejected by your family for your certain outlooks and opinions. Well, there is always a possibility of that, but you are now a mature person, and you have to take responsibility for your choices. And if someone is not agreeing with you, it does not mean that they don't love you. Sometimes we think like, oh my God, this person, they have a completely different opinion, so it means we are disconnected. But no, it's like it's such a superficial level in this life, and it's really painful because a lot of families, a lot of partnerships fall apart based on certain ideas, on certain ideologies, and the like polar opinions. And if we tap deeper into what is really connecting us at the core, like none of it matters really. But of course our instantaneous reaction is to kind of to be aggressive or to be offended or something like that. Yeah. So just reminding yourself that connectedness is much deeper than certain beliefs. So maybe trying to reconnect with your family at this time is a good idea, or at least to try to do that, Okay, and this is a general card for your healing. It's a healing advice. So let's see, what do we have here? Okay. So it's an interesting message. I feel like there is some sense of jealousy happening here, and I don't know, it's like maybe you've been maybe you've been hiding certain emotions from people, even like from your personal life, because you feel because you are uncomfortable dragging too much, like you are uncomfortable attracting too much attention. And yeah, there is a certain fear of expressing your emotions, and all sorts of emotions, like the positive ones and the negative ones. So the lesson here is to allow yourself to express the whole palette of your emotions. The Queen of Cups is the archetype of the wild feminine, and this archetype has a very dark side to it. It's quite manipulative and chaotic and even extra. So some people may perceive you in a wrong light sometimes. But I think this comes from the fact that maybe you are not consistent in showing all of your emotions. Again, I feel like there is a conflict in terms of what you show and what you hide, because you have certain programming that either people will envy, or they will judge you, or they will think that you are too needy, like you are too egocentric. There is a sense of emotions and ego intertwined. But as a matter of fact, there's nothing wrong with expressing your emotions. Obviously, we need a healthy outlet to do it. But normally, if you are consistently communicating your emotions to people, then there will not be a pile-up effect. And like, how to say it, like it minimizes the chances of you lashing out on people if you've been constantly expressing yourself little by little, rather than repressing your feelings for quite some time. Always leads to certain risks of explosion. So yeah, coming to terms and like becoming at peace with the fact that you are an emotional being, and you are allowed to show all of your emotions, and those people that are not capable of feeling those emotions as well, like this is on them. It means that they have to also spend a certain amount of time expanding their heart. So yeah, but of course it goes both ways. It's interesting, because if you are not allowing yourself to fully express yourself, you will always overcompensate, and sometimes you will also get narcissistic. Like not just you, all of us. Everything that we are not giving ourselves, we are then not able to provide for others. It's automatic. So expanding your emotional like intelligence, and healing your emotional wounds at this time, it's a good thing. Maybe once you've done that, once you've allowed yourself to feel absolutely everything, then this conflict with whether you have to continue with this person or with this job, or whether you have to start something completely new, maybe this dilemma will disappear on its own. Yeah, feeling everything, not being scared of the intensity of your emotions. First and foremost, not being scared of it within yourself, because perhaps people around you are even scared of your emotions and they feel like it's too much, but they are mirroring to you what you are already thinking of yourself. If you think that you are too much, then obviously you're going to be too much for others too. And like, I don't mean it in a narcissistic way, like take everything with, not with a grain of salt, but like, I hope that you understand that of course we cannot suffocate other people without emotions, of course not, but it's on us first of all, and we have to process our emotions ourselves, but at the same time, if this emotion is directly connected to another person, then of course we have to communicate it, of course. And if the other person says like, oh, you are just overreacting, well, maybe not. If this is something that's been happening multiple times and this is really hurting you and the other person doesn't want to admit it, well, it's not your problem that they don't want to admit it. You still have to communicate it, whether they like it or not. I hope it makes sense, yeah? So you have to allow yourself to feel everything anyway. And then once you've faced the truth of your feelings, you will be able to communicate it to others in a very clear way as well, without gaslighting yourself and without feeling like you've done something wrong by exposing your sentiments. Okay, this card, we're going to interpret it as an affirmation. Okay, and we have a King of Swords. King of Swords, so I would interpret it as I am capable of seeing the truth and I am brave enough to say the truth. Okay? I am brave enough to be honest with myself and others. Because the King of Swords, he is very unapologetic with his opinions, I mean, sometimes maybe even too unapologetic. But at this time, perhaps that's what we need. This raw truth. Cutting to the core of things. To the heart of the matter. Okay, this card is an advice. What was it? It's a healthy coping mechanism that you can use. Oh, that's interesting. The coping mechanism. Okay, so this is really investing your time and energy into a certain financial project. This will really ground you. So if you have a certain idea in mind that you want to invest your time and energy into, definitely do so. So your priority at this time is to focus on your finances and to be greedy with your time and your resources, really. It's okay to be greedy with your energy if the other person is not able to provide this equal exchange of the energy. Be greedy. They will judge you, but like nobody cares. Of course, people get angry when you don't give them what they want for free, but nothing is free in this life, especially human energy, especially life energy. So you are your main investment, and if it's not something that is 100% in alignment with what you are trying to manifest, with what you are asking for from the universe, then be closed off, be greedy, be stable. Do not risk your stability. Okay? Go after the best option always. You know, like, even if some of you, like, even if you don't have this programming in your brain to go after the best things, explore explore those ideas, reprogram your mind. There's nothing wrong with going after the best option. You don't have to be happy with the minimum. Like, of course, gratitude practices, they always teach us to be happy in this very moment, of course, 100%. But at the same time, if the person comes and they are not adding up to your existent reality, or sometimes they even want to steal from it, you know, like, no, you don't have to say yes to that. Absolutely not. Continue being grateful for what you have, but you do not need thieves in your life, okay? No. But again, I'm only channeling my experiences, okay? I'm not some sort of guru, so if you want to do otherwise, of course, it's always your choices, and I'm just a random tarot reader, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, even though my energy can sometimes be like, you know, fiery and kind of, you know what I mean. But I'm not trying to push you into anything. I'm just trying to encourage you and support you, and I want to defend you and defend the best options that are there, that are out there for you. Okay, that's my only intention here. Okay, and then we have 2 cards, and this is something that I did just out of curiosity, because they are indicating like your emotional state in the nearest future. And I do not believe that future exists. We are co-creating our reality with the universe every moment of every day. But this is just based on the current energy, okay? So the first card is your emotional landscape. If you do nothing, if you do not meditate on your current emotions and you just carry on as if nothing happened. And the second card is your emotional landscape in the nearest future. If you do spend some time meditating on your emotional blockages, and if you meditate upon it, and if you use all those little pieces of advice that we've kind of picked up from this reading, yeah, this is going to be a second card. So the first card, if you do nothing, well, how am I going to interpret it? I think that some of you will start feeling apathetic at some point, and since you do not have this mental clarity, you can get quite stuck in this energy, and some of you might even use certain methods of escapism, and for all people it's really different. For some of you it's like simply just daydreaming all the time and not trying to find the solution to reconcile all those conflicts within you. Then some of you may be partying too much, or drinking or smoking or whatever. So you get the jazz. And so it's a little bit like the energy of being carried away by your dreams and ignoring the opportunity that life has to offer. Okay? And then if you do spend some time with your current emotions, then we have quite an interesting outcome that obviously you will start realizing that you've been lying to yourself for quite some time. Okay? It's like you will outgrow the old patterns of your brain that have been quite manipulative with yourself. With the Seven of Swords, it's the card of lies and manipulation, but oftentimes it refers to the internal parts of ourselves, and this is exactly what I'm feeling at this time with the Empress here. So if you do make an effort, and if you take time to explore your family history, to analyze this mechanism of repressing certain emotions, then you will get to a completely different level where you will simply become more mature, more resourceful, and your standards will become completely different. And obviously, if your standards change, then like they change in all areas of your life. They change in your partnerships, they change in regards to your career choices, and yeah, you start forming a completely new reality for yourself. So yeah, I think I will stop here. It's a beautiful thing to close the reading with the Empress. And yeah, I hope that some of the messages, that some of those messages resonate with you and give you certain clarity. And I am sending you all the love and all the healing. And I want to remind you that you are always supported by the universe, and that the universe is acting for you and with you, even at those moments when we do not feel like it. All of us, myself included. Okay, have a beautiful day. If you want a personal reading, you can contact me via email. All the details are down below. And see you soon. Bye-bye. Hi Pal 3, welcome to your reading. As I've already mentioned in the intro, today we're having quite an extensive look at your emotional body. And as you can see, we have many different positions to really scan everything that's going on. And we're going to start with the first position, that is showing us what is the predominant emotion that you are currently experiencing. And this is also the card which can show you straight off the bat whether it's your reading or not, unless you are someone who finds it difficult to really understand your emotions. Then obviously it makes sense to continue watching it. But anyway, listen to your intuition, and if it does not fit, it just means that this is not your pile or it's not your reading, and please do not try to make it fit. Let's have a look at what is your predominant emotion at this time. What do we need to have a look at today? Okay, so you are trying to cultivate a certain sense of maturity within yourself. You are done playing games. You are done settling for less, and you like at this point you don't care if people call you hard to get, or like you have crazy high standards or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter at this time. You're not people pleasing anymore, and you are raising your vibration. And even though you understand that it might take a certain amount of time to get where you want to be, yeah, you are unapologetically accepting your high standards within yourself. I love it. I love this emotion. But I wonder, why is it coming through here just as a confirmation? Maybe, but let's have a look at the root of this situation. What's happening? Well, you are currently, like, life is pushing you into the position of a leader. So it makes sense, you are leveling up in all areas of your life. And the only thing that might be bothering you is that it's like you have no choice. Maybe you've been thinking, okay, maybe I can play around a little bit, like, not be serious here and there, but deep inside, in your gut, you understand that the time has come. You cannot settle for less anymore. And this is the time when you are called to take risks, to expand, to even show off for some of you, depending on what you do. Like, you're not going to play small anymore. And you feel like it's a necessity of some kind. Maybe because there are certain restrictive life circumstances that are pushing you into this role of a leader. So there is a clear message that you are no longer preoccupied with what other people gonna think about you. But at the same time, you might be surrounded by certain people that might have doubts in terms of where are you headed. But I still see a lot of confidence here. It's a really positive energy. I mean, in comparison to Pile 1 and Pile 2, it's a completely different spread. So let's have a look at what do you need to pay attention to within yourself. Okay, so there is still some conflict going on that needs clarity. Okay. Again, I'm seeing people around you that might be contributing to a certain amount of stress, but I still think you know where you're going. You know where you're going, but of course, we are all sentient beings, and if there are too many voices around us critiquing what we do or how we go about it, then obviously it's still affecting us. Even if we are, I don't know, super spiritually developed, there will always be a new level of a challenge. So people are affecting us always because we are so interconnected. So, but what I'm hearing here is that, of course, stay on your track, but at the same time, maybe within this chaos, while people are proposing so many different opinions, and maybe they are critiquing you in some way, but perhaps there is a certain if you look at it at a certain angle, perhaps you can find something useful in it. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to do what they are suggesting, but still maybe this piece of information can be beneficial in some sort of way. And also, if something is extremely triggering, it's also an interesting thing. Like, we are not supposed to be angry at those people that are saying something wrong. We always have to look within and understand, what are they saying? What is that they're saying that is So, yeah, so triggering, so hard to digest. Maybe it is because we still have certain doubts within ourselves. So, at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to, again, to introspect what is our truth and maybe become even more confident in our truth. So, try to, yeah, obviously find the strength to not be carried away by the amount of external advice and opinion, and instead try to notice a certain benefits for you there. Okay. Now let's have a look at the external helping energies. So these are energies literally in your surroundings, helping energies. Okay. So again, with the Lovers here, I feel like you have actually quite a lot of people around you. And yeah, a lot of people with whom you can have all sorts of conversations. You should not be taking them extremely seriously. Again, this is a time of curiosity with the Page of Swords. Simply, having those conversations for the sake of comparison. And sometimes it's good to spread out all of the cards on the table and just see your options. So yeah, I think you are at the moment surrounded by many different people, and again, like I've already said, it can be misleading sometimes, but if you are not approaching it with a sense that, oh my god, I need to have one solid answer right now, then the situation might shift very quickly. Yeah. Also, for some of you might be relevant, of course, the Lovers card, if we speak astrologically, it indicates Geminis. So if you have a friend with this astrological sign, then perhaps they have a certain piece of information that can inspire you in a certain way. And yeah, maybe there is someone who is giving you quite an unconventional piece of advice, and you are not quite ready to see how this can actually help you. You think that this is some risky, immature even idea. Because I feel like you are currently at this very, very mature energy, and you're trying to invest your energy only in things that are 100% reliable, that are 100% practical. And this energy here, it's not about practicality, it's about curiosity, it's about expansion. So there is some advice, again, it's like it's slightly hidden here and here. I'm seeing a lot of people clouding your judgment in a way, but at the same time, if you take a closer look, I don't know, maybe you just like go out with this person and it feels very informal and not serious at all, and you're having a good laugh, and maybe even having like a glass of wine or whatever, and then like that's what happens when artists hang out together in a pub, and then this crazy idea pops up, like, why don't you do this? And all of a sudden, you get successful, like overnight. This sort of scenario. So yeah, be open to communication and do not become this porcupine when people critique you or when they give you opinions. Okay, hopefully it makes sense. Okay, and now let's have a card that is indicating how to express your current emotions in a productive way. And we have strength. Yeah, exactly. This is confirming, like, we have strength and the Four of Pentacles. So finding the strength to, in a way, humble your ego, but at the same time solidifying positions in your truth. So yes, finding this balance between like being badass and like globally not listening to anyone, but at the same time being receptive to the opinions of others. So like the final decision, it's still on you, of course. But being able to also appreciate the wisdom of others. So if someone is telling you things that are serving you, then of course take them. Why not? There's nothing wrong with it. If people are approaching you with an open heart, then that's what we should be doing. We should be connecting with those people. This is not making us smaller. On the contrary, we are expanding this way together. But if you are feeling that people are not having pure intentions at heart, then of course you know what to do. But also with this card, if you have a lot of energy building up in your body, it's a good advice to have a permanent sports routine to ground yourself with force here. So if you go to the gym, it's a good idea to continue doing it. Or if you don't, then maybe purchasing a membership there is also a good idea, because it seems like you have a lot on your plate at this time, and physical activity can really pump your blood and your heart, so that you have like this constant fresh flow of energy. And our mind and our bodies, obviously they're interconnected. So yeah, doing sports in a consistent manner, it's a healthy outlet for your emotions at this time. And this card is a general piece of advice for your healing. Yeah, so this is interesting. It's like these are two very spiritual cards, and both of them are saying that it's okay to take time for introspection, and also again that you are advised to collect certain wisdom at this time, internally and externally. Internally meaning from your spirit guides, from your higher self, tapping into your subconscious and finding certain elements within the pool of collective consciousness, and externally as well. Being patient, not being judgmental, and also feeling that exercising this feeling that the universe is doing everything to manifest the best reality for you, even if it's taking some time. Because I feel like you are manifesting something big here, okay? But you are still collecting information. And you are very passionate, like you are ready to charge forward, but there is still a need to compare all the pros and cons. But you will be able to do it if you embrace the energy of Temperance and the Hermit, okay? The Empress and the Hermit. It's going to be a new level in terms of your spiritual growth if you surrender to this internal seeking and also to this external collection of information. So yeah, I know this is probably the most annoying advice, patience, but yeah, together with like patience and physical activity are at the moment, those things can really ground you and they can provide a solid sense of foundation so that you can be this reservoir for the collection of knowledge that is so needed at this time in order to really get to this new luscious level in life. And this card, we're going to interpret it as an affirmation. Okay, and we have Death card here. So the affirmation here is I let go of unnecessary control and I embrace the change. Okay, so definitely there is a huge change happening, but again, of course, if you are stepping into certain leadership positions, it implies a lot of control. But also, a good leader knows when to let go of control. So don't be played by your own mind, and try to be more flexible. Try to be like in business, you really have to go with the flow sometimes, in a sense, not that you are like carried away by other people's feelings and opinions, no, but in a sense that you can always adjust to a different situation. If something doesn't go the way you want it to go, it doesn't mean that the situation is dead. No, there will be a new door to go through. That's what I mean. And also, we have two cards here. And I do not believe in the pre-existence of future. But these two cards, this is your future emotional landscape based on your current energy. Okay, so and the first card indicates how are you going to feel in the nearest future if you are not taking this piece of advice at all, and if you're just stuck in your old ways, and for example you you're not open to other people's opinions, do nothing and just carry on as nothing happened. And then we have a second card, that is also indicating your nearest future, but once you've taken this piece of advice that we've already talked through. Again, take it with a grain of salt, because you are co-creating with the universe all the time, and yeah, it's just a little glimpse into the future out of curiosity, but you can always change that. So this card, if you do nothing and you just carry on with your life like you've never watched this video, well, this is giving me a slightly like the energy, being on your guard. So again, it's just reconfirming that you will be closed off and you will be focused on making money, on learning new things, which is great. But at the same time, there is this energy of being extremely aloof and being slightly overly focused, and overly focused simply on your opinions and being stuck in your own mind, with the King of Swords. Like, it's only my truth and everyone else is totally wrong. This sort of scenario. And with this card, just look at that. So in this position we have the Page of Coins, and in this position we have the Queen of Coins. So this is a nice sign that obviously if you are open to collaborations with others, if you're open to other people's opinions, you have more chances of making more progress. Your position will be higher as a Queen of Coins. And for some of you, you might even get a promotion in the nearest future, and you will feel more connected to people, you will feel more respected, and you will be able to build more, and there is just more convivial energy and more, more life, more movement. You will feel like you are on a new path, and you will feel in the right place. That's what I'm getting. Okay, I hope that this reading was useful today in some shape or form. Again, you are the creator of your own reality, and not a single tarot reader can tell you what to do and how to go about it. All I'm trying to do here is to inspire you, and I'm sending you all my love and all healing that you need. And if you want a personal reading with me, you can always contact me via email. All the details are down below. Have a beautiful week. Stay true to yourself and believe in miracles. Okay, bye bye. Have a beautiful week.